The ICAC arrests 6 in connection with football match fixing. A Civic Passion member jailed for 9 months in connection with the Lunar New Year riot in Mongkok. And former Portuguese Prime Minister Antonio Guterres almost certain to be the next UN Secretary General.
Good evening. The ICAC has arrested 6 players and officials from local Premier League football teams on suspicion of match fixing. The suspects are accused of rigging reserve division league matches and pocketing more than $90,000 in bribes. Anne-Marie Sim reports.
Hong Kong's football scene is rocked by another match-fixing scandal. This time involving matches during last season's Hong Kong Reserve Division League. The ICAC today arrested an assistant coach who is also a player, 3 serving players, a former player and the suspected bookmaker. They were released on bail while the investigation continues. The anti-graft body said it received a complaint alleging that the suspects had accepted bribes amounting to more than $90,000 to rig 4 Reserve Division League matches. The ICAC did not name the club, but the suspects are thought to belong to Premier League club Pegasus. Its chairwoman, Canny Leung, said in a Facebook post from London that she was shocked by the news and didn't have the relevant information, but would be heading back to Hong Kong to deal with the matter. Hong Kong Football Association Vice Chairman Poi Kwan Kay explained that most of the matches are played in the evening and football fans can come and watch them for free. He suggests that because these matches don't attract a great deal of spectators, so it's not easy to spot any irregularities. Whereas in the Premier League, there are bigger crowds and more people can witness any suspicious behaviour or tactics by the goalkeeper or players. The president of Eastern Sports Club, Peter Leung, noted that match rigging also takes place in lower league matches because punters still bet on them. He said he's witnessed people jotting down when a substitution is made or a goal is scored. The local football league has been marred by match-fixing scandals in recent years. In January 2014, some Happy Valley players were arrested and the Hong Kong Football Association suspended the club for a season for match-fixing. And in December 2014, a Croatian footballer, Sasa Mus, who had been playing for Happy Valley, was sentenced to 12 months in jail for colluding with his side sponsor and deputy manager to rig a local Division 1 match played in November 2013. Anne-Marie Sim, TVB News.
The number of telephone fraud cases has picked up in recent months. In the latest case, a woman lost $9 million. Almi Leung reports.
Phone scams are on the rise again. The most recent case reported to police involves a 49-year-old woman. She got a call from a self-claimed immigration officer who accused her of having falsified travel documents. The call was later transferred to a purported mainland police officer, who then said she was connected to a money laundering case. On 2 occasions, the victim banked in $6 million and $2 million to a mainland account. She only became suspicious after releasing her bank details and noticed that another $1 million was withdrawn. She lost a total of $9 million. Police figures show that in June and July there were fewer than 10 telephone fraud cases. That jumped to 26 in August, and sources revealed there were at least 50 similar cases last month. Almost half of the victims have connections on the mainland, with quite a number of them being mainland students attending schools in Hong Kong. This student from Anhui province said her friend almost fell victim to a scam call. The call was transferred to an alleged police station, and sirens in the background made it sound real. Students now have heightened their awareness after reading about the news shared online or posted at dorms.
Yeah, people maybe are a little too trusting, perhaps, and maybe should be a bit more aware and be a bit more careful.
And that's the exact message the authorities hope to send out. Almi Leung, TVB News.
A Civic Passion member was today jailed for 9 months for assaulting police officers and resisting arrest during the Lunar New Year riot in Mongkok. This is the first conviction and sentencing in cases involving the riot. Adam Shu tells us more.
31-year-old Chen Pak-young is a member of the political group Civic Passion. He was charged with one count of assaulting a police officer in the due execution of his duties and another count of resisting arrest. He pleaded not guilty. Magistrate So Wai-tak heard that the defendant twice threw a plastic bottle at officers and put up violent resistance when the officers tried to subdue and handcuff him. The magistrate noted the defendant's acts were reckless and lawless and said he deserved a deterrent punishment to protect frontline police officers. As the defendant maintained he was not guilty of the charges, the magistrate said he saw no reason for mitigation. He jailed Chen for 9 months and 4 months in prison for the 2 charges respectively, with the sentences to be served concurrently. Former lawmaker Wong Yok-man, who is widely regarded as a mentor of Civic Passion members, lashed out at the ruling.
It's just ridiculous, okay? I think this is a political, trial.
Wong warned the sentence could lead young activists to go down the path of increasingly violent protests, an outcome he says can only be bad for Hong Kong's stability.
The magistrate also rejected the defendant's request to be released on bail while awaiting his appeal. Adam Shu, TVB News.
Meanwhile, another Civic Passion member was fined $2,000 for kicking a reporter and injuring her earlier this year. Defendant Lee Cheng-hei had pleaded guilty to 1 count of common assault. The court heard that during the opening ceremony of the political party's Sao Mao-ping office in May, Lee got into an argument with a reporter. He then kicked the journalist. After reviewing video footage of the incident, the magistrate said the defendant gave the reporter only a light kick. The magistrate says the defendant simply got emotional at the time as he wasn't happy that some other people were trying to stir up trouble. A Samsung smartphone forced the evacuation of a passenger jet that was about to take off in the U.S. state of Kentucky. The incident happened when a passenger on board the Southwest Airlines flight discovered her husband's phone was overheating and smoking after it had been powered off. Samsung, Southwest, and federal aviation safety officials declined to say what model of Samsung phone was involved. But a published report says the defective phone was a Galaxy Note 7 that was a replacement for a previously recalled phone. The incident raises fresh trouble for Samsung, which saw its new Galaxy Note 7 device recalled last month because of overheating batteries.
A contractor for the U.S. National Security Agency has been arrested on charges that he illegally removed highly classified information and stored it in his house and car. Harold Thomas Martin III of the U.S. state of Maryland was arrested by the FBI in August after authorities say he admitted to having taken government secrets. Prosecutors say some of the material contained sensitive intelligence, meaning they were produced through government sources or methods that are critical to national security. A defense attorney says Martin did not intend to betray his country. The arrest could turn into another embarrassment for the U.S. intelligence community. It will be the second case of an intelligence worker stealing secret data from the NSA in recent years. NSA contractor Edward Snowden reviewed a vast collection of metadata in 2013.
Former Portuguese Prime Minister Antonio Guterres is expected to be formally recommended today as the next United Nations Secretary General. James Aiken tells us how Guterres plans to change the world body.
Guterres won unanimous backing in informal secret ballots from the UN Security Council yesterday to become the 9th UN Secretary General. The veteran politician and diplomat won high marks from almost every diplomat during the first ever question and answer sessions for candidates in the UN General Assembly.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you are witnessing, I think, a historic scene. This has been a very important process of selecting the next Secretary General, and I think we have treated it with great responsibility, and we appreciate the participation of all the candidates in this campaign.
While the 67-year-old is a virtual lock to be the next UN chief, the result disappointed campaigners for a woman, or East European, to be the world's top diplomat for the first time. 7 of the 13 people who were nominated in the race were women. Guterres, however, has stressed the need for gender parity in the male-dominated world body and has indicated he will almost certainly select a woman as Deputy Secretary General. In addition to improving funding mechanisms, Guterres has also indicated that he intends to be a bridge builder to create conditions for consensus to tackle the UN's most pressing issues.
I will work closely with the General Assembly and the Security Council to see how we can find mechanisms, namely in the action of the Secretariat and the agencies, to be more effective in addressing not only the needs to fight terrorism, but the ways to avoid some of the mechanisms terrorism utilizes in today's global society.
Guterres, who is fluent in 4 languages, was Prime Minister of Portugal from 1995 to 2002. He also spent 10 years as the UN High Commissioner for Refugees, which he called the most remarkable experience you can imagine. If his nomination is confirmed, the 193-member General Assembly must then approve Guterres as successor to Ban Ki-moon, whose second 5-year term ends on December 31st. James Aiken, TVB News.
And still ahead. In Thailand, the 40th anniversary of university students by state forces amid junta rule. Hurricane Matthew barrows towards Florida, leaving a trail of destruction in Cuba and Haiti. And preventive measures stepped up at kindergartens against hand, foot, and mouth disease.
Hillary Clinton may have had the upper hand in the first round of the debate, but Donald Trump says he's going to get tougher in the second round by bringing up Bill Clinton. Don't miss the second round of the US presidential debate. Live Monday morning at 9, with the same night rerun at 9:35, right here on Pearl.
It was big, it was exciting. This is exactly what we're looking for.
The 10th year celebration of incredible talent, drive, and determination.
I have to say, that was pretty spectacular.
Saturday and Sunday, Nature's Bounty presents America's Got Talent, Season 10, at 8:30 on Pearl.
The 50th anniversary of the Macau Motorcycle Grand Prix, the second GT World Cup, the Gia Race, and the proving ground of new legends, the FIA Formula 3 World Cup. This is Motorsport, the Sun City Group 63rd Macau Grand Prix.
條路咁窄，點行啊？條路窄成咁，我都行唔到啦。好窄啊，我都行唔到啦。
While your shop becomes more spacious, the pavement becomes narrower. The fixed penalty system has been effective since September 24, 2016. Shops obstructing public places can be fined $1,500. With better pavement access, we can walk more comfortably.
One of the major international sporting events held in Hong Kong, featuring some of the best female professional tennis players from around the world. Get the lowdown on the tennis event of the year. Tonight, Hong Kong Tennis Open 2016 Prologue at 9:30 on Pearl.
And welcome back. Thai students, Buddhist monks, and activists gathered today to mark the 40th anniversary of one of the darkest days in the country's history. On October 6, 1976, state forces and royalist mobs attacked a group of 2,000 students inside a Bangkok university and hanged, shot, or beat to death dozens. The attackers accused the students of sympathizing with revolutions sweeping through Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos at the time. One of the survivors said it is important for younger generations to understand what happened back then, because the country, once again, has a military government like 40 years ago. The anniversary comes a day after Thailand barred entry to Hong Kong student activist Joshua Wong, who has been a key figure in the SAR's umbrella movement. Wong was due to speak at 2 university events in Bangkok.
A Malaysian judge has ordered the release of 9 Australians who partied in their swimming trunks at the Formula One Grand Prix on Sunday. Photos and videos of the men drinking beer from their shoes while donning swimming trunks printed with the Malaysian flag prompted an outcry on social media and in the Malaysian press. Many deemed it an indecent act. After the men pleaded guilty and apologized, the judge dismissed their public nuisance charge and lectured them. He explained the symbols of the Malaysian national flag represented not only its people, but Islam as well. Last year, 4 Western tourists were fined and deported from Malaysia after posing naked on Mount Kinabalu, angering locals who consider the mountain to be sacred.
Hurricane Matthew pounded portions of central Bahamas today after it battered Haiti and Cuba and killed at least 26 people in its wake. Matthew is now raging towards the U.S. state of Florida. 1.5 million people there were ordered to evacuate as the storm is currently intensifying into a Category 4 hurricane. Sonia Otero reports.
Millions of Americans living along the southeast coast are fleeing inland after President Barack Obama urged them to heed evacuation orders.
I want to make sure that everybody is paying attention to your local officials. If there is an evacuation order in your community, you need to take it seriously.
Anticipating the worst, Florida's governor already asked Obama to declare a state of emergency in 26 Florida counties. He also deployed 1,500 National Guard troops to help out.
I cannot emphasize it enough that everyone in our state must prepare now for a direct hit. We can rebuild a home, we can rebuild a business, we cannot rebuild your life. If an evacuation order is issued for your area, leave immediately.
Residents are leaving in droves and stocking up on supplies.
Lots of water, stuff that's non-perishable, wipes and paper towels.
Federal emergency response teams took positions and stockpiled supplies in Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. Earlier today, Hurricane Matthew pounded the Bahamas with 230 kilometers per hour winds and rain. Even though it weakened slightly to a dangerous Category 3 storm, it still whipped through Cuba. It destroyed homes, livestock, and crops, especially in Guantanamo province. The tourist town of Baracoa also took a major thrashing. Many houses were totally gutted. Strewn on the streets are chunks of cement, wooden beams, roof tiles, and electrical lines. Cuban officials are scrambling to get aid to the stricken area. The worst of Matthew was witnessed in Haiti. Aerial images reveal how the deadly storm has created the worst humanitarian crisis in the impoverished nation. Sonia Artero, TVB News.
Dozens of non-establishment lawmakers have received a letter from ICAC Commissioner Simon Pei accusing them of undermining his integrity and damaging the anti-graft body's reputation. Pei said their accusations that top graft buster Rebecca Lee was not appointed to a senior post because of her investigation into the chief executive was serious and unfounded. Winna Wong reports.
The letter was sent to 23 non-establishment lawmakers earlier this week. In it, Simon Pei reiterated that when the position of ICAC operations head became vacant last year, top investigator Rebecca Lee was appointed acting head of operations because the agency couldn't find anyone else to fill the spot. He stressed she was put there for administrative reasons, and it was not meant as a guarantee that she would eventually get the position. Pei went on to say that the decision to terminate Lee's role as acting head of operations was reported to Chief Executive Leung Chun-ying in accordance with the standard procedures, and that the CE had not given any input on the incident. There have been suggestions Lee's demotion was related to her investigations into alleged payments Leung Chun-ying received from Australian firm UGL. Pei did not mince his words. He slammed the allegations as serious and unfounded, which undermined his integrity and damaged the ICAC's public image. Newly elected lawmaker Lam Cheuk-ting of the Democratic Party had earlier suggested using LegCo's special powers to look into the incident. He says even if the chief executive had not said anything, he had still given the silent nod to dismiss someone who was investigating him. Lam said a similar incident had happened back when former chief executive Donald Tsang was being investigated by the ICAC. Tsang had given all ICAC administrative work to his chief secretary to avoid any conflict of interest. In July, Pei told the press he had decided to terminate Lee's role, citing her poor performance, and had arranged for her to return to her previous position. Lee resigned from ICAC following her demotion. Winna Wong, TVB News.
The Center for Health Protection warned today that hand, foot and mouth disease and acute gastroenteritis cases have been on the rise lately. It has urged members of the public to ensure proper personal and environmental hygiene to guard against infection. Outbreaks of acute gastroenteritis and hand, foot and mouth disease have been reported in at least 21 schools and institutions so far this week, with more than 130 people falling sick. The Center for Health Protection expects more cases in the coming weeks. Some schools are stepping up preventive measures. Tai Po Methodist Kindergarten is one of them, following an outbreak of acute gastroenteritis in the school. 18 of its pupils and 3 staff members suffered from vomiting, diarrhea, and fever. All of the affected pupils have since recovered and gone back to school. So, Chris, what's in sports?
We got more baseball. It's that time of the year when it gets really interesting. In Major League Baseball, it was a classic pitching matchup in New York. Madison Bumgarner outdueled Noah Syndergaard to lead the San Francisco Giants to a 3-0 victory over the New York Mets in a National League wildcard playoff game. Alan Booknia with the highlights.
The Giants are trying to continue a pattern of winning the World Series in even years. They won it in 2010, 2012, and 2014. Bumgarner was masterful again, striking out Yoenis Cespedes here in the 4th inning on his way to a complete game shutout. He's now tossed 23 consecutive scoreless innings in postseason winner-take-all games. On the other side was Noah Syndergaard, called Thor. He held the Giants scoreless for 7 innings.
1-1.
San Francisco's Connor Gillespie finally broke the ice in the 9th.
And it's gone!
Hitting a 3-run homer off Mets closer, Jeurys Familia.
Right center field. And the Giants win it.
Bumgarner came on to close it out for the Giants' 3-0 win.
It's hard to put into words what he did tonight and what he's done for us, and we needed it. This game was everything we thought. 2 really, really outstanding pitchers going at it, and it was all as advertised. And
well, they're hurting, but there's no reason to be. I mean, they were written off so many times this summer, and yet they kept fighting back. And
the Giants now play the Chicago Cubs in the National League Division Series starting Friday. Alan Booknia, TVB News.
In tennis at the Beijing Open, Alina Svitolina stunned world #1 Angelique Kerber in a 3rd-round match. It is the 2nd time this season the 16th-seeded Svitolina knocked off a #1 ranked player. She beat Serena Williams at the Olympics in Rio de Janeiro. Kerber had been on a run of 22 wins and 26 matches on the tour. Svitolina won this one in straight sets. It was 6-3 and 7-5. In another 3rd-round match, 3rd-seeded Agnieszka Radwanska easily defeated Caroline Wozniacki 6-3 and 6-1 in a match that took just over an hour. And now to golf, and the Fiji International Open made its debut on the European Tour with Australian Anthony Houston taking the lead. Houston tied a course record. He fired a 7-under par 65 as Aussies dominated the leaderboard. 47-year-old Stephen Leaney was in fine form as he carded a 6-under 66 for a share of 2nd place. American Brandt Snedeker, fresh off his Ryder Cup heroics, made a solid effort. He carded 4 birdies, ending the 1st round with a 3-under 69.
And that's the news.
Good night.
First issued in 2007, green bonds started slow until the market tripled in size to 36 billion. Why are they growing? Also on Money Magazine, our monthly digest of news, views and juicy rumors floating through the market. Friday night at 8 on Pearl. The Force.
It's pretty impressive. Yeah, I taught him.
The Empire.
Angle deflector shields and follow my lead.
And the dark side.
It's obviously a trap.
We have to do this.
Sunday, Lego Star Wars presents Star Wars Rebels Season 2 at 8 on Pearl.
Everyone is bringing their game. Bring yours to the Prudential Hong Kong Tennis Open.
让我们一起寻找使徒保罗的宣教教宗，通过现代文明与古迹，了解智慧背后的奥秘。
Understand Christianity from Chinese believers around the world.
这个囚室是当年保罗被囚禁的地方。
Saturday morning, showers of blessing at 7 on Pearl.
Good evening. It was hot with some sunny periods today. At 5 p.m., Tropical Storm Eri was centered about 180 kilometers east of Dongsha. It is forecast to move west at about 16 kilometers per hour across the northern part of the South China Seas. Today's temperatures range from 26.5 to 32.4 degrees, and the relative humidity was between 58 and 82%. Winds were light to moderate north to northeasterlies. The current temperature is 29 degrees Celsius with the relative humidity standing at 72%. So, Freddie, how's the weather tomorrow? Mainly cloudy with a few showers tonight. We'll have sunny intervals during the day tomorrow. Temperatures will range from 26 to 30 degrees. It will be windier with a few rain patches over the weekend. Tomorrow's air quality health index will range from low to moderate, and the maximum UV forecast for tomorrow will be about 7. Now to the latest global weather update. Rainy in Shanghai and Taipei, cloudy in Xiamen. Thunderstorms in Guangzhou, rain in Chengdu. Rain in Beijing, cloudy in Seoul, bright in Tokyo.